Today I'm going to share with you some of the notes that we talked about in class on day one. And this is regarding linear systems. Linear systems are two lines in a plane. They may intersect once, always, or never. And we have three ways of discussing how to solve them. One is with elimination, where we try to eliminate one of the variables. One is substitution, and one is with graphing. So here I have two equations, and you're supposed to look at this without doing anything except looking in your head. Try to, without writing anything down, try to solve this for an x and for a y value. And you can pause this video right now if you want, or I'll just show you with writing on it what I'm doing in my head. If I combine these two equations and add them, I get 4y is equal to 12, and I can do that mentally. Divide both sides by 4, and I get y is equal to 3. If I were to substitute 3 in here, I would get x is equal to -1. So my solution to this particular system of equations is 3 as -1, 3. And I've graphed this using Desmos so that you can see what the graph looks like. And sure enough, it's -1 and 3 where the two lines intersect. They may intersect once, always, or never. Here we have two equations, and one way to solve this, which is fairly apparent from just looking at it, would be to substitute. And I'm going to substitute this value for x into where I have an x. These are all Algebra 1 skills. This is something we've done in Algebra 1, and we're just reviewing it here because we're going to do linear inequalities. And when we do linear inequalities, we'll need to be able to graph linear systems of inequalities. So we have 20 minus 4y plus y is equal to 8, or -12 is equal to -3y, y is equal to 4. And when you substitute 4 back into this equation, you get x is equal to 1. So 1 and 4 is my solution. When I look at the graph on this one, I'll pull over this. I've actually graphed this one also on Desmos. And sure enough, it's 1, 4, as you can see, where these two lines intersect. Then we come across this problem. And if you look at this mentally and you think, I could just combine these two equations by subtracting the second one from the first one. And I'm going to show you how I would do that by moving this around. I would subtract the second equation from the first equation. And I get 0 is equal to 8. And that doesn't make any sense. And so you wonder, well, what does it mean? Some people are prone to making a huge mistake by putting an x in there. Well, it means x is equal to 8. No, 0 is 8 is what you get when you do this. What it means is that there are no solutions. The lines are parallel. And again, here's another one that we could solve. Notice the things are not lined up. So that would be my first step in solving this, would be to line things up. So if I have 3x minus 2 is equal to -y, then I have 6x minus 4 is equal to -2y. We could take this first equation and multiply it by 2. And if you do, you get 6x minus 4 is equal to -2y. It's the same line. These are what they call coincidental or overlapping lines. They're overlapping. The last set of equations I want to look at is this one, and we're going to solve this, and I might let you solve it, but I'm going to show you how I would set it up. First, I'm going to make it into a linear system of equations. And I'm going to do that by substituting. Let m equal to 1 over x, and let n equal to 1 over y. So these two equations become m plus 3n is equal to 3 over 4. And the second one, I get 3m minus 2n is equal to 5 over 12. And if I were to multiply this to get rid of the fractions, just to make this look a little bit easier, 4m plus 12n is equal to 3. And here I multiply this by 12, I get 36m minus 24n is equal to 5. Now I have two equations and two unknowns, and I can solve these a number of ways. I could solve for one of the variables and then substitute it. I'm going to use elimination. I think I'll multiply this top equation by -9. If I do that, that will get rid of my m values. So I have -36 and m plus a -9 times 12 is going to be a -108 n is equal to, and then a -9 and 3 is -27. When I add these together, I get -22 is equal to -132n. So I can solve for n. N is equal to 1 over, and I think it's 7, is it? Let's just check it here. 132, 6, 1/6. Well, wait a minute. We knew that the y value is going to, this is equal to 1 over 6, so my y is equal to 6. And then for n, for x, we can substitute n back into one of these equations. Let's substitute it into this equation. So we have 32m minus 24 times 1/6 is equal to 5. Well, this is going to be -4. So, isn't it? Let's see. 24 times 1/6, -4. Add 4 to both sides, you get 36. 36m is equal to 9. So m is equal to 1 over 4. But this is equal to 1 over 4, so that means my x value has to be equal to 4. And that's how I solved for x and for y. And good luck and success.